Greetings to you all! I don't think I have ever mentioned this before, but originally I am from Vilnius, an incredible city with a rich culture, a beautiful historic old town and some truly delicious local food. Last month I returned for the first time in 7 years to witness something very special. On December 17th, Lithuania finally got its very first IMAX cinema, a long-awaited moment that I simply couldn't miss. The end of 2025 was packed with new auditoriums around the world, and it was especially exciting to see Lithuania on that list. For me, this trip had a deep personal meaning. Forum Cinemas Vingis is one of the places where my passion for movies and cinema technology was born. I've lost count of how many films I've seen there. And I remember watching it evolve from a single-screen, brutally austere Soviet-era cinema into the modern multiplex it is today. Back when I was a regular visitor, everything was still projected from film. Over the years, Vingis became the first cinema in Lithuania to introduce Dolby Digital Surround EX, and later the country's first digital projector. Forum Cinemas has always been pushing the boundaries of what the cinema could be for Lithuanian audiences. This time I was lucky enough to get access not only to the auditorium, but also backstage, to explore every detail of Lithuania's first IMAX. I also had the chance to sit down with the CEO of Forum Cinemas Lithuania, who kindly agreed to answer my questions. And it was especially rewarding to discover that we share many of the same views on cinema technology. Even though I have visited countless cinemas across the United Kingdom and Europe, I was genuinely excited to see that Forum Cinemas Vingis is equipped with the latest generation of IMAX speakers, brand new model of amplifiers and the state-of-the-art laser light source projection system. Much of this technology is new even to me. So, let's dive in and see what this auditorium is really capable of. And just before we start, I have one quick request. Please consider subscribing, giving this video a like, leaving a comment or hitting the notification bell. All of this helps the channel to reach a wider audience and allow me to keep making content like this. And if you would like to support BoardTech channel directly, you can use this Super Thanks feature here on YouTube, or consider becoming a patron on Patreon. All the links you need are in the video description below. And one more thing. Make sure you watch this video till the very end, because if you are watching from Vilnius or nearby, I'll explain how you can enter my little giveaway and get a chance to win an invitation to Forum Cinemas Vingis IMAX. In this video, I'll walk you through the latest cinema tech installed in this brand new IMAX auditorium. But before we dive into the technical details, let's take a step back and hear the story of the cinema from Gintaras, CEO of Forum Cinemas Lithuania.
It's a cinema that was built in Soviet times, some 70 plus years ago. It was called Vingis, so we're still having Forum Cinemas Vingis up till now. Of course, it was a standard cinema project, one of thousands, if not 10,000s, across the Russian Empire of those times. Vingis cinema, born as one-screener, standard model, and lived until Lithuania became free and independent again. It never stopped screening films. Even those dark times when Soviet Union collapsed and then independent Lithuania rised up from ashes again. So even on those hard days, Vingis was showing films thanks to the family that ran this business on those days.
Over time, through the efforts of the family who operated the cinema, it evolved from a very basic analog theater with projection equipment typical of that period into a proper modern auditorium featuring one of the first Dolby Digital sound systems in the country. The cinema later expanded into a 4-screen venue. After that, the well-known Finnish company Finkino entered the Lithuanian market and acquired Vingis. From that moment, Vingis became Forum Cinemas Vingis, marking a new beginning.
IMAX is our latest progressive installment because I'm proud to say that we've been looking at this concept for a long time. For some reasons, it couldn't come to Lithuania. But finally, we reached an agreement with IMAX guys. And I think that what you see now, it's quite a spot here worth a visit. And I'm saying this as a person who loves a good sound and a great picture. I'm really very, very happy on having this here in Forum Cinemas Vingis.
Securing an IMAX contract is a major achievement, no question. But converting a standard cinema into the IMAX auditorium is where the real challenge begins. And surprisingly, it's not the projection system and it's not the audio. The biggest obstacle is something that you would never guess.
The place where the IMAX is now, it was a cinema auditorium, biggest in Lithuania by seat number, with the biggest screen as well. The target was really ambitious to make it ready for Avatar 3. It meant 4 months, meaning that concept creation, project in details with all drawings, because it's a pretty complex thing. We get the drawing and we understand that we need 30 tons of metal to be fixed here for the amphitheater, for the slope. And then we also realized that there is no such an amount of needed metal in Vilnius city and even around. So what you do, you're just trying to look everywhere, like, you know, in neighboring countries, in Poland and Latvia, whatever. And then you have to find who, in a couple of weeks, will stick all those metals together, and your slope, which is totally different than that previous one, which was demolished totally, will rise up, and you will be able to, you know, set up all seatings that we can see it right now. You know, you can make drawings, you can reserve architects, everyone is working, and you can meet some dates, and then one day you realize that maybe those 30 tons of metal that you have to somehow build to bring it here and make the slope are simply impossible to release. So conquer that. The result is here.
So let's check some facts about this auditorium. As Ginter has mentioned, it has a brand new steeper racking installed. The seating capacity is 413 plus 8 wheelchairs, and there is a plenty of legroom even for the tall person like me. The seats themselves are super comfortable, so it won't be a problem spending over 3 hours in one of them. And it's not just about comfort. The room design plays a huge role in image quality. One thing I noticed in some auditoriums is the wall finish is not dark enough. But here in Vilnius, they made the best possible decision: make the walls black. Not the most exciting color, but scientifically it's the best choice. In the cinema, we are watching reflected light. The screen reflects the image to our eyes, but the rest of the light hits the walls, ceiling and the seats. If those surfaces are not dark, they bounce light back and reduce the contrast. So the darker the room, the more contrast you achieve. The screen was manufactured in Canada by Strong MDI, one of the IMAX's key suppliers. It stands 11 meters tall and 20.5 meters wide, making it the largest cinema screen in Lithuania. But installing screen like this is a serious logistical challenge. It can't be folded, which means it arrives in an enormous crate. Screen install requires a crew of over 20 people moving in perfect coordination. Accidents during installations like this do happen, but at Vingis the team handled it brilliantly and everything went smoothly. To fill this 225 square meter screen with a super bright, rich color, high contrast image, you need a projector that built specifically for this job. This is IMAX XT, a laser light source projector that you simply can't buy off the shelf. It's an exclusive machine tailored for IMAX, engineered to deliver consistent brightness across a giant screen, while keeping the image razor sharp from edge to edge. And what's really interesting is how much the projection booth has changed over the years. Unlike the early digital cinemas, there is no standalone media player sitting in a rack anymore. The DCP server is now built in directly into the projector itself. Inside, it uses multiple hard drives for redundancy. These hard drives are where all the movies for the upcoming weeks are stored. Everything is controlled through this touchscreen interface. In theory, once the schedule is programmed and all the content is ingested, the whole system can run fully automated. Lights, ads, trailers, and the feature, all triggered at the perfect time. Of course, IMAX is famous for its absolutely ginormous screens. But here's the thing. Even the biggest screen in the world won't feel immersive without the right sound system. And just like everything else in IMAX auditorium, the sound is on another level. The latest IMAX setup uses a 12-channel system, carefully positioned around the room. Behind the screen you have 4 speakers, left, center, top center, and right. So the dialogue is locked perfectly to the image, and the sound feels like it's coming directly from the action. Then, on the walls, you have 2 speakers on the sides, and 2 more speakers at the rear corners of the auditorium, helping the sound wrap around the audience. And to complete the full dome effect, there are 4 additional speakers mounted on the ceiling. So you're not just surrounded horizontally, you're enveloped in a sphere of sound. All of those speakers are powered by IMAX's brand new AM6 amplifiers. And of course, there are 2 dedicated amplifiers just for subwoofers. Because, let's be honest, it's impossible to imagine a modern cinema experience without that deep, physical, low-end rumble. And the whole thing is controlled by a very special IMAX audio processor, which is hidden right here, behind this grille. So, that was the sound system. Now, in the comments, people always ask me the same question. Which seats should you choose in IMAX? Well, first of all, IMAX is designed so it's hard to pick a bad seat. The experience is simply more consistent across the room compared to a regular cinema. But if you want my personal recommendation, and this is purely based on my own experience, I'd say there is one basic rule that always works. Try to sit so your viewing position is perpendicular to the screen. Because that way you're looking at the image dead straight, perfectly centered, and you avoid any optical distortion. Now, if your priority is the best sound, I would suggest the middle of row 9. Not because IMAX is only tuned for one seat. It's not. But because this is where you get the best overall balance between the speakers behind the screen, the side surrounds, the rear surrounds, and the overhead channels. And on top of that, you are hearing the most of the sound system closer to its acoustical axis, which gives you the cleanest and the most accurate sonic experience. But if you are here for the biggest possible image and you want the screen to feel absolutely massive, then I'd say row 6 to 8 are the great sweet spot. A little closer, a little more intense, and it really gives you that IMAX wall of picture feeling. And if you are from Lithuania and still deciding wherever you should visit the cinema or not, I think Ginteras has a short message for you.
You know, I will be as simple as it is. Just come and see it, and then we can discuss. I will be really surprised if I will hear that you didn't feel anything new sitting in this auditorium. It's just a different reality when sitting and watching the film, which is surrounding you from all possible sides, and you becoming a part of the film. And that's the IMAX experience in this auditorium.
And finally, here's a giveaway. If you're located in Vilnius or nearby and would like to visit the new Forum Cinemas Vingis, leave a comment below saying, "I want to visit the first IMAX in Lithuania." I will randomly select a few winners who will receive an invitation to watch a movie of their choice. Good luck, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Goodbye.
Post-war cinematic dead man blues. I got the post-war cinematic dead man blues. cinematic dead man